What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. And yes, you've read the thumbnail right. Donnie is broken again. It's not mechanical this time, or at least I don't think it's mechanical this time, but I got him back in the warehouse and I have to do a bit of work on him. I was planning to do some work on him this weekend because I want to get what's here under the seat, this contraption that I have made 2 years ago, I think, or 3 years ago for the trip to Turkey with some USB plugs and some 12-volt plugs. I want to dress it up and put something around here, like a USB socket here, 12 volts here, and a couple of buttons to switch everything on and off. But Donnie has decided to break down on me. And actually, before we get into that, in case you noticed, we have the entire fleet here in one shot. Let's see if I can get everyone in one shot. So we got Donnie over here. We got Fred DeSantis over here. We got David, the ADX125 over here. And we have Brutus, my R1100 GS, in conservation at the moment, right here. He is ready to go, so let's see. He still has battery, I think. Just charged it recently. Yes, 12.9 volts. It's actually good. And if you put the ignition on, yep, he's ready to fire up. But currently, I ain't got no plans, no trips planned with him. So I'm still keeping him. Not gonna sell him because I love this bike, but it means something special to me. But currently, he is just relaxing. He's in retirement mode. Goes out every once in a while when the weather is nice, and today the weather is not so nice. But what has gone wrong with Donnie this time? Well, it's actually, I think it's quite simple, because I was riding him a couple of days ago. He was riding just fine. And all of a sudden, the engine started to run very rough. And I looked down on my dashboard, I saw the check engine light was on, and yeah, usually sometimes the check engine does come on every now and then. It's usually an O2 sensor, I clear it. But when that happens, nothing happens to the engine to the way it runs. It's usually the heating element that has a bit of an issue every now and then, like, I don't know, once or twice a year. But the engine runs perfectly. This time, the engine was running like crap. It was idling very, very high, and at traffic lights it was either idling high or almost dying. So I plugged in my OBD. I didn't have the OBD at the moment because I was just riding home from work. I didn't have the OBD. I plugged in my OBD. I pulled over, I plugged in the OBD, and I checked. And let me show you. Just turn the ignition on. Let's wait here for the motorcycle to appear. There it is, connected to ECU. Okay. And currently, what's showing? Thank you, blind spot monitoring system. What's showing is that we have timing advance 5 degrees. That's not enough. Intake temperature is 19 degrees, and it's just about right with current ambient temperature. Air fuel ratio is 14.6. That's good for when it's off. That's the normal air fuel ratio it commands. Throttle position 1176. That's the idle. But oil temp minus 40. And if I try to start him up, he starts, but he almost dies. And we can still see timing is 14. Air fuel ratio at idle should be around 14. This is way too low. It's getting too much fuel. And yeah, something's not wrong. It's idling pretty high. He revs just fine, but this is wrong. So we're gonna switch him off. And let's see if we have fault codes, because the check engine light doesn't go off. So fault codes. Let's scan for fault codes, and oh my God, we have a lot of fault codes. But you know, this is something that might seem scary, but it might actually not be. I haven't diagnosed the issue just yet, but it might be simple. So let's take a look at them. Engine coolant temperature, circuit high input. So problem with the engine coolant temperature. This one, again, engine coolant temperature, circuit range performance problem. Again, problem with the engine temp sensor. O2 sensor, circuit high, O2 sensor, circuit high, circuit range and performance. So all four of these errors, 2 are for the engine temperature sensor and 2 are for the O2 sensor. Now, some people might say, oh, you have a bad O2 sensor and a bad temperature sensor. That may be true. I haven't ruled that out yet. It also might be a bad ECU, but again, I haven't ruled that out yet. But the thing is, for those who don't know, I work at an importer here in Romania for Sym, Zontes, Daytona, and Cove models. I've been doing spare parts for Syms for about 4 years. I have owned Syms for about 5 years. The issue, or actually no, 2019, my first Sym, 6 years I have owned Syms. And for 4 years I have been providing parts for basically the entire country. I have changed an O2 sensor, or actually I have sold an O2 sensor twice, and it was actually under warranty for units that came brand new here. And as soon as we got them out of the box and started them up, the O2 sensor was faulty, check engine light was on, we diagnosed it, we threw in a brand new O2 sensor. It ran just fine. It was defective. 2 of them had defective O2 sensors from the factory. That can happen, that's normal. And one single temperature sensor, it was to somebody who in the autumn took apart his engine with the plan to put it back together in the spring. Spring came along, he ordered the parts for an engine rebuild, and he ordered a temp sensor because he lost his temperature sensor. So I changed 2 faulty O2 sensors from new and 1 temperature sensor because the owner lost it. The likelihood of both the O2 sensor and the temperature sensor failing at the exact same time, considering they have been running just fine for the past 4 years and 50,000 kilometers, that's about, actually I can show you in miles. So both buttons down, 31,500 miles. So the likelihood of both of them failing at the same time is very, very slim. The ECU might have failed, but the engine is still running, so that kind of rules out the ECU. So what else could it be? Well, I looked around the scooter and check this out. Let's see, should I give you a bit of light? Yes. All right, let's see here. This is the engine right here, right underneath. This is the ECU with the throttle body. The temperature sensor, this is the plug for the temperature sensor. This is the plug for the O2 sensor. The wire for the O2 sensor that's down there. There it is. Goes around here, plugs into this, and goes into the wiring loom. Also, the temperature sensor is right here and goes into the wiring loom. First of all, looking at these wires, they're kind of shitty. And inside here, they go into this conduit right here that is known on the Symphony ST to cut up the wires. So, okay, and if we can see here, let's see. I think I saw something. This is the, yes, this is the O2 sensor cable, and this is the temperature sensor cable. Focus. So they're both going in here, and this plastic conduit is known to cut up wires. And if we look around here, we can see exposed wires around the conduit. We can actually see some of the wire insulation being, I don't know, cut up. So I decided, so first thing to do is to break out the wiring diagram. You can find this on the internet usually, or ask your local dealer. And in case you don't do wiring, this is scary. I mean, how do you make sense of this thing? Well, a trick that an old electrician taught me. First of all, let's look, what do we have here? We got the ECU here, O2 sensor, injector, engine temperature sensor. ET sensor should be engine temperature. So what you do, you take this diagram and you simplify it. So what are our main problems? We have the O2 sensor and the temp sensor that fail both at the same time. The O2 sensor has 4 cables running out of it, the temp sensor 2 of them. Zoom out a little bit and you can see this green and red here. They both meet up here and go together to the ECU. So we might have an issue with this exact cable being disconnected, and the ECU cannot read both the O2 sensor and the temperature sensor. So I'm gonna take things apart. Ooh, that's bright. Turn off the light. So I'm gonna take things apart and I'm gonna check that cable firstly. I do have a multimeter with me and we're gonna check for the electricity, the continuity from the plugs to the ECU. All right, so here's what I found out. This is the plug to the ECU. This is the plug to the temperature sensor, and this is the plug to the O2 sensor. Now, first of all, I'm gonna test my method. So I'm gonna go to pin 27, and I have made this little wire so I can get into the ECU plug because the holes are very tight and the prongs of my multimeter do not fit in. So let's find, I might cover you with my hand, but it is what it is. Pin 27, this is pin 27. It's pink and black. We'll just set it here. Just like that. We also have pink and black. We'll put this here, make connection. And we also have pink and black here. We have continuity from the O2 sensor plug to the ECU connector. Now, let's take a look at the plug right next to it, which is our, which color was it? Our green and red wire. Jam it in here. All right. So number 27. First of all, I'm gonna check my green and red wire here, the temperature sensor plug, with the plug of the O2 sensor. Remember, these wires connect together. So let's see. And there we go. So we got a connection. We got a connection from the O2 plug to the temperature sensor plug. The wire that is shared by both of them, between the two plugs, is connected. But what happens when we go between the temperature plug and the ECU connector? Let's see. Nothing. Back to the O2 plug. Connection. ECU connector, nothing. Let's go. Oh. Get back in there. Let's go from the O2 connector to the ECU again. Again, nothing. So, where these two meet, I don't know if you can see right here. Let me just pick you up. Where these two meet right here and go along the conduit to the connector, there's a break in the cable somewhere. So I'm gonna take all of this apart and look for said break in the cable. Well, I just took off the, I just took off the insulation. Let me put the light here. And can you guys see a problem? Let me see if I can make it clear. Right there, where my finger is. Can you guys see a problem? Because I certainly can. Workspace is tight, and this is the conduit that breaks cables. Not a good effort from Sym. I'm gonna have to do something about this thing because I do not like it. But yeah, and it's, guess what? It's the red and green wire. Of course it is. Now, in this tight space, I have to try and reconnect this wire. Wish me luck. All right, so what I just did was open up the conduit, and I'm gonna cut a lot of it out. And I just reconnected my wires. I reconnected the ECU plug, the engine temp, and the O2 sensor. Let's put the ignition on. Let's put our OBD adapter back on so we can read the codes. Open the torque app. There we go, looking for bike. Come on, find it. Found it. Go to real-time information. Well, we got oil temp, 25 degrees. And let's see, do we still have fault codes? We probably do still have, yes, we have all the fault codes, but that's normal. Let's clear fault codes. Yes. Sending fault codes, clearing command. This takes a little bit. So first part is done. The ECU again knows the temperature of the engine, so that's a good thing, and probably the O2 sensor works. We'll see if the fault codes come back up again, but considering in the past it showed minus 40 degrees on oil temp, and now, let's see, refresh. Actually, let's go back out. Fault codes again, scan. Considering it was minus 40, it was showing minus 4 degrees on the oil temp, and now it's showing plus 22, which is kind of normal, which should be the normal temperature. As you can see, the fault codes are no longer appearing, so the scanner is, they're not popping up instantly. The scanner is searching for fault codes, it's coming up empty-handed right now. Come on, you beauty. Work. And that means if there are no fault codes, when I start off the engine, the ECU light will turn off. The ABS light, we don't worry about that thing, because it doesn't turn off when you start the scooter. It turns off only after you do a couple of meters, so it does its sync, its calibration. Come on, 96, 97, no fault codes. And startup. No throttle. No check engine light. He is idling perfectly. Oil temp 25 degrees. Intake 23. Air fuel ratio 14.12. That's good idle. Timing advance 13:15. Okay, that's good. No longer dying, idling perfectly. That's it. He is now fixed again. So what could have been an ECU failure, a temperature sensor failure, an O2 sensor failure, it was just a cable. One single cable. That's why you need to know your machines. And that's why, honestly, people have asked me, why didn't you take David on the Cannonball? Or why aren't you taking David on the Cannonball? Or maybe Fred, the Zontes. Well, he's actually too big, it's 350cc. He wouldn't qualify for the Cannonball. But David would qualify perfectly for the Cannonball. The thing is, I'm not familiar with the inner workings of the ADX 125 as intimately as I am with the Symphony ST. I know Donnie inside and out. And if this problem would have appeared on the Cannonball itself, what is it? An hour's work on the side of the road? Perfectly back up and running. I also know the transmission, I know the inner workings of the engine, I know where all the cables go, where all the sensors are. So I trust him and he trusts me. And I know him and he knows me. So we're kind of a team. That's why I have chosen Donnie for this trip. Apart from the fact that we've done a lot of previous trips. But yeah, now I'm going to put them back together in terms of electrical. I do have a bit of heat shrink right here. It might be too small. I need to change it. And I'm also going to clean up all these wires so I don't have any more cable failures. And I'm going to isolate them all with electrical tape, and that should be good. And then we can tackle the problem of the battery. I am also I'm swapping out for a brand new battery that I have been holding on since winter. It's this thing, a Yuasa YTZ10S 9.1 amp hour battery. This battery fits any small Syms. The OEM battery is 6 amp hours. I'm gonna put a 9 amp hour battery. This is the original battery that's 4 years old. It's getting along in life. It still works, but it's getting up there to the end of its life cycle. So before I ship him out, I am changing to this new battery. And since I already have a lot of work to do here, might as well do it now. And everything is all cleaned up. Now, I did find an extra 2 wires here from the O2 sensors that were just about ready to give up. I fixed them right now beforehand, before they actually gave up. I've recovered everything in electrical tape. I've reattached everything. I secured all the wires and cables. Nothing moves. Nothing is out of the ordinary. And now Donnie, we just switch them on. One button start. Check engine light is gone. Everything is running. This thing still hasn't even connected yet, but everything is running beautifully. Now, I'm gonna start working on the back here, and I'm gonna show you when I'm done just how, what idea I had. And through the magic of YouTube, I'm done. 5 hours later, but it's done. And yeah, I'm quite happy with what came out. And that's kind of the last thing I wanted to do to him before the Cannonball. In terms of maintenance, I still have to get new tires on and change the neck bearings. And that's it. He is 100% ready for the Cannonball. So apart from a couple of maintenance items, tires and neck bearings, which will be done at the end of April, because I'm still going to ride them around. So I don't want to put brand new tires on right now so I can start wearing them down before I actually have to get on the road. But he is done. As you can see, probably nothing, you see nothing different. But what I have done is actually, I've added a couple of buttons here and a couple of plugs. And this is how it works. So, normally when you put the ignition on, everything here on the dash turns on. My quad lock charger, my Kaiji, and also the heated grips are straight connected to the battery. So these don't need the ignition signal. But as you can see, they're not working. Put the ignition on, nothing powers on. Now, normally everything here is powered by a couple of battery terminals that I put here. So I have power here. That's a separate circuit, and I have power here. And it went one cable straight to the battery. And the problem is I could never turn off that cable. Everything was on a switched circuit, but I kind of wanted a hardware way to turn everything off. I don't know, maybe I have a short circuit here. I see smoke. I want to turn all the power off. Well, now I do. We just flick this switch, and now check it out. Quad lock is on, Kaiji is on, heated grips work, and my blind spot monitoring system has turned on. Now, that button is mainly gonna stay on all the time. So we switch off the ignition and everything powers off. The Kaiji will power off in about a couple of seconds. There it goes, turning off. So, what else have I put? Well, first of all, I have added a 12-volt socket right here, drilled a hole, mounted it, and also it came with a cigarette lighter, which is handy. Also, 2 USB plugs, a USB-A and a USB-C. And some people might recognize this part. This is actually a Zontes OEM part, which is the same charging port that comes on the 350E. I really love the fast charging it has. It only needs 12-volt power and it does everything internally. It fit here, I just mounted it. Now I have power, and if I want to switch both of these on, just one flick, and that's it. They're on. Now they have power, and switch them off. And another thing, say you, I don't know, stop in the middle of the night, you're on the road, you're on a road trip, you have to stop in the middle of the night, you want to look under the seat. Now, here we have lighting, but I don't know, on the road, you may not. So you flick this switch, and check it out. We have two LED strips lighting up the underseat storage so I can see clearly everything at night. Normally, what I would keep under here on a longer distance road trip is tools, oil, tools, a few spare parts, some water, my air pump, my battery jump box, stuff like that. So when you're out in the middle of nowhere in the darkness, you kind of want light. But then I got thinking. I got an idea from basically the train industry. Locomotives, especially steam locomotives, used to have lights right above the wheels. So the driver could see as he was driving the locomotive if the wheels were slipping, or in case they needed to lubricate the wheels and the connecting rods, because they were manually lubricated on some of them. They could have light at night to lubricate them. So not only do I have underseat lights, I have side lights. Check it out. Off and on. At night, if I want to change my oil or check my oil, I have an LED strip right here lighting up this entire area, work area. And maybe I have to change a transmission belt. My belt broke in two. Here we have another light lighting up the transmission area so I can work here. And when I'm done, just switch it off. And that's it. That's about it for everything I wanted to do to him. He is now 100% in terms of accessories and everything I wanted to put on him. He is 100% prepped for the road. I am gonna do a full tour of him at some point in the near future. Maybe give you guys an idea of the full build. Like I'm gonna go from everything from the front and to the back, the full build. But I'm happy with him right now. Just got to do those final maintenance items in about a month's time. And that's it. We are Cannonball ready and US bound. And now I got to get my ass home because it's a Saturday and it's 5 o'clock in the evening. I got to get home. All right. So everything is connected, working. Turn on Mercado. And yeah, let's hit the road. Our cleaning lady has arrived. So it's my cue to skidoo, so I can let her do her job. Oh, it's so good to be back on Donnie. Haven't ridden him for only a couple of days, but it felt like a lifetime. Once again, he was broken. I wasn't all that worried. I kind of knew it had to be one of those cables because it was just too out of the ordinary for both sensors to fail at the same time. So I kind of knew or hoped or wished it was an easy fix, but yeah, I guess it was an easy fix. And now he's back on the road. Got 404 kilometers on this tank. This is the fuel from the trip up the mountain. Still got 2 bars left, another, I don't know, 50, 60 kilometers to get out of this tank. So I'm not gonna fuel up right now. You might be wondering, why the hell did I do everything that I did under the seat? Well, the short answer is for convenience. Out on the road, I don't want to mess around with anything. Like I said, I want to do all of my prep work from here, from Romania, and when I get out on the road, I just want to ride and enjoy and have everything tailor-made to what I want. That means including a 12-volt plug, because the 12-volt socket I use for my mattress inflation pump. I do have a small little mattress inflation pump for my tent, and it has a 12-volt plug, so I plug that in and I can inflate my mattress every evening. I also have my USB chargers that I need to charge my all of my batteries, camera batteries, maybe a laptop, stuff like that. Also maybe a 12-volt plug to charge the laptop. I still don't have a way to charge the laptop on the road, but I will at some point. And it's all for convenience. The lights, again, if I need to do some work on him on the side of the road, I can have lights and I can look for my tools under the seat. Everything is for convenience. it just makes life easier on the open road when the machine is set up exactly how you wish to have it set up. And now currently Donnie is completely set up as I would wish to have him set up. I don't have anything else that I want to do to him. Apart from the maintenance items, he is done. He is 100% Cannonball ready, and he seems to be quite eager to go. I'm also quite eager to go. We're gonna have a pre-Cannonball in terms of a run to the United Kingdom, because that's where I'm shipping him from. That's where Moto Freight is located, and I have to get him on the 28th in London. 27 or 28th, I don't know. Which one is a Tuesday? 27th or 28th of May. I have to get him in London. I want to ride a little bit around the UK. I know the Isle of Man TT is right around that period, but I don't have time to go to the Isle of Man and catch maybe a day of racing or see what's that about. It is on my bucket list, but the logistics just they're not going to happen this time around. But I did get an idea of what I could possibly do, and that is travel around Chipping Norton and maybe visit Diddley Squat Farm, or maybe at least the farm shop or something around that. I'm a big fan of the show Clarkson's Farm, and since Chipping Norton is quite close to London, and I'm probably going to have a day around the UK to mess around, because on Monday it's a bank holiday and I'm probably going to be arriving in the UK on Monday. I have to drop off the scooter on a Tuesday, so why not just ride to Chipping Norton and try to see if we can find Mr. Clarkson. He's probably not going to like my two-wheeled contraption for long-distance travel. I know he kind of hates motorcycles. But at least I may try to visit the farm shop and buy something from the farm shop. That would be something. And if I do meet somebody from the show, then great. If not, then yeah, it is what it is. It's still a bucket list stuff for me to get over there. Come on, quickly. Dip, 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 dip. Traffic is horrendous. But Donnie's making quick work of the traffic. He's still, no matter how much stuff I put on him, he's still an awesome city scooter. But now he's also fully prepped to be an adventure touring scooter. With his 12 little horsepower and everything he has on him, he's gonna make life on the road extremely comfortable and easy, and that's what I wanted. I just want to ride. When I get over there to the States, I just want to ride and enjoy the views and enjoy the riding and make like the everyday stuff of doing maintenance and setting up tents and inflating mattresses and stuff like that, make it as easy as possible. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this little video, and thank you to everyone who has supported the project, who has donated, and thank you to all who have subscribed, liked, shared the videos. Every little bit of help goes a long way, and I thank you all. And yeah, get ready. Cannonball is just 2 months away. Working hard on all of my documents, and by the end of April I should have all of the paperwork in order, and we should have green lights all the way. I have applied for my visa for the United States. I have paid the visa tax and everything. I will have my interview in a couple of weeks, and I'll get my answer. That is kind of the only thing that is up in the air at the moment. That and the EPA approval. The EPA has responded to my request. They have said they are analyzing it, and they will give me an answer in a maximum 1 month's time. So by the end of April, we should have all the answers if everything is a green light. And that's about it for this video. Thank you all, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until next time, take care out there, everyone, and ride safe. Bye!